Have you ever wondered where blood comes from if your dog or cat needs it in an emergency? Like human blood banks, there are animal blood banks. However, one particular dog and cat blood bank in our viewing area has led to protest and outrage. Focus team investigator John Charlton, along with our chief photojournalist Philip Merle, shows us why the way the facility operates may be questionable.
State Road 135, Jackson County, Indiana. A large-scale kennel for dogs. But this is not a place to board. It's here for blood.
It's entirely a business. It's only a business.
The veterinarian's blood bank is actually split into two branches, dogs in Valonia and cats in Brownstown. Hundreds and hundreds of dogs and cats, and they are not pets free to come and go. They are there to stay.
They're engaged in breeding animals who they then bleed for profit.
It's categorized as a closed colony. PETA calls it a captive blood bank.
There's no excuse
for animal abuse.
These people protest that it's not ethical treatment of animals. And to prove that, the group says it actually infiltrated the veterinarian's blood bank last year.
We're able to get an investigator hired at the facility, and she spent 7 months working there.
In filed complaints to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and to the Indiana State Board of Animal Health, PETA complained of cruel conditions, including repeatedly drawing blood from old and even sick animals. The dog facility is officially registered as a commercial breeder, where retired dogs remain on the property, while puppies born on the property are retained on property as replacements.
They even deny animals the small mercy of a proper retirement. They stay there until they die.
Due to PETA's complaints, a state veterinarian made an unannounced inspection December 27th. Dr. Jodi Lovejoy noted in her report that there were 340 dogs on site, that issues included some dogs having significant dental problems, some with skin injuries. Several enclosures lacked solid flooring and bedding, while others had rust needing to be addressed. Meanwhile, at the cat facility, with 581 of them on site, Dr. Lovejoy noted that there were about 15 cats per kennel. There were no signs of unattended injuries or illnesses, and that the cats didn't appear to be in jeopardy.
This facility was taking blood from animals far more frequently and for far longer into their life.
Lovejoy's report reveals that here blood is drawn every 3 weeks or less, while noting program standards at other blood banks around the country. For example, the standard at Ohio State University's Veterinary Medical Center is every 2 months. And dogs at all other donor programs she listed age out by 8 years old. At the veterinarian's blood bank, according to the report, dogs are retired at around 10 years old. However, Lovejoy also found at least 2 dogs were still providing blood at 12 years old. Cats, by Ohio State standards, are at least 10 pounds, 1 to 6 years old, and blood collection is every 8 weeks at most. Here, however, as noted, cats are just 8 pounds and 9 months old when they start. They give blood until 10 to 11 years old, and blood draws, like dogs, happen every 3 weeks.
This place, whether it's because they have a long waiting list for their products or they're trying to make money or a little bit of both, was taking blood from these animals every 3 weeks, if not, slightly more often.
The state cleared the veterinarian's blood bank after a re-inspection determined that staff addressed the issues in the dog kennels. PETA doubts the inspections were comprehensive, considering it was only one person in one day responsible for checking on hundreds and hundreds of cats and dogs.
There's absolutely no way to look at every one of those animals in that short of a time period, and that's something we had asked the state to do.
The veterinarian's blood bank declined to go on camera or provide a statement to address concerns about how they operate. However, at least a couple of things have changed since the PETA report. They've revamped the website with new photos of canine and feline blood donors, while boasting Christian morals of honesty, empathy, respect, compassion, and integrity. And this man, who identified himself as one of the owners, Dr. Ron Harrison, said that they are now trying to adopt out retired dogs through prison greyhounds. The Indianapolis-based organization confirmed they found new homes for a few dogs so far.
PETA doesn't oppose in the least blood transfusion medicine for animals. It's very important. It's vital. It saves lives. What we're opposed to is breeding and keeping animals in cages their entire lives simply to take their blood.
Now, it's important to note that in the state's view, the veterinarian's blood bank isn't doing anything wrong. However, there is another way to get much needed blood for dogs and cats. At 11 on the Night Team, we'll take you to one of those facilities and explain why certain leaders in the industry say it's time for uniform rules and standards. John Charlton, WHAS 11, on your side.